Welcome, all you wonderful people. Thank you so much for popping in today. Welcome to the Fluffy Cow Studio. I'm Deanna, and today we have some very quick and easy DIYs. And I want to thank all of you who are subscribed. I really appreciate you. And for all of you lucky people who get to come in and watch us all the time, I'm so thankful for you. I appreciate you a great deal. I am thankful for all of you guys, and I hope if you like what you see, you will hit the subscribe button and you will hit the like button. Well, let's get started. Today we're going to start with a Dollar Tree piece of wood that I got, and I took it outside and sanded it down because they tend to not be all that smooth. So we I did that, brought it in, and now I'm using a chocolate bar uh, brown in the apple barrel paint, and I'm really watered it down because I want it to be a stain. So I'm just doing that, and it kind of looks a little bit like a cedar stain. Anyway, so I'm doing that, and I'm going to do it on all sides. Then I take some black, really watered down, and I'm just kind of doing a little distressing or whatever you want to call it, but that's what I'm calling it, distressing. And so, and I wipe that down good, and then now I got these little utensils from Hobby Lobby. They were on sale. They were in their spring section, 40% off, and they were cute. And I had this little egg turner, or I call them spatulas. I don't know if that's really what they're called, but I thought this would be really cute because my brother-in-law, he had a saying that he always used, and I'm going to put that on here, but I just painted it, and I didn't show you a lot of the painting because I didn't want you guys to get too bored out of your minds. But if you don't want to paint them little flowers that are on here, go ahead and use some stickers or artificial flowers. That would work just fine. In fact, it might look kind of nice. Anyway, so right now I took a skewer and put in that little hole, and I cut it off and sanded it down a little bit to fill my hole. That is what I was doing with the scissors or with the pliers and stuff. But I kind of got a little bit behind because, my gift to gab kind of kicked in. So I'm just going to paint this. And like I said, you guys, if you don't like to paint, I like to paint, but if you don't want to do this or you don't think you can do it, go ahead and use some stickers. Hobby Lobby had a great deal on some flower stickers, and or if you don't want to, you can use the artificial flowers to put on here. Now, I painted my spatula red and the flowers in a pink. Can be any colors you want them. Now I'm getting ready to write my little saying on here, and I'm behind again. I use for the top part I use stencils, but on the bottom part I just decided it was easier and quicker for me to write them on. Now, if you have a Cricut, that would be so easy to just do this in so much quicker than what it took me to paint. And what took me a long time is I had to wait for the stencil part to dry before I could put another letter on. So I don't show that though. But anyway, I'll shut up now. Um, is what my sign says is don't flip out. That's on the top part. That's the part I use the stencils. And the bottom says things always get better. Because that is something my brother-in-law always used to say, especially to his daughter when she was having a rough time. I put his name down there on the bottom. Now, after I get all these letters written, I'm just using white, then I will go over and trace the outline with a black fine Sharpie. And here I am doing a little stencil and I'm just kind of dabbing it. And then I am trying to figure out where the next letters go, and right here I'm just using the Sharpie to write. Oh, wait a minute. I'm using a pen. What are they called? A paint pen to write my brother-in-law's name on there. And then I do another little bit of stenciling after that gets dry. This reminds me of a story. I know you guys probably don't like my stories, but my mom and dad never used to fight a lot. They'd have their moments, but not a lot. And one day my mom was so mad at my dad and she was cooking dinner. And my brother happened to just be walking in the doorway when my mom hucked a straw. Or not a straw, a fork. She threw a fork so hard and it hit my brother-in-law right in between the eyes. And I swear to God, it stuck there for a few seconds before it fell off. Oh, well, that's the end of the story of the household hold fights with my parents. That's about the worst I've ever seen. But anyway, so I'm just going over tracing over the top part, and I did glue the spatula on, and then I added a bow at the end, at the top, and um, I just used jute for the hanger, and I glued it on the back, and then I put masking tape over the top of it. It says don't, oh, I did add a little bow. I got some little wooden bows from Hobby Lobby on my Hobby Lobby stash, our haul. And then it says things always get better. And where them little flowers are, you can do whatever you want there. But I just ended up painting them because, like I said, I like to paint. That's what I do. Every once in a while, my brother-in-law passed away. Both my brother-in-laws passed away, but every once in a while, I like to put something or hang something that reminds me of those who have gone on before us. Okay, for this next little craft we're doing, I'm taking a soda pop bottle and I took all the labels off of it. And then I took it outside and sprayed it white with 2X Rust-Oleum paint in flat white. And then I do have, I'm using a deep pansy or purple pansy um, paint, and I'm using a lighter purple paint, and I'm not sure the name of that paint. But I'm just going to take now, after it got dry, and I'm going to dab. I'm just, I'm dabbing because I want a little texture to this. So I'm dabbing part way up, not all the way, just maybe a fourth of the way up, not too far up. And I'm just going to dab all the way around that bottle. And I did about 2 coats, and I say a half coat because there was a few places that I just kind of missed, and so I just tapped it over. And as you see, I kind of screwed up. I forgot to put my little clip art, clip art, clip lard. That's a new one. Um, anyway, I'm putting a little some roses there. And as I was making this, it reminded me of a really sweet little lady here in town, and I am going to be making this for her, I decided. So then I take some lighter, it's lavender, it's not called lavender, but it's just a lighter purple. And I'm just taking it and if you don't want to use that or don't have that color, you can just add a little bit of white to your purple, your dark purple. And I'm just dabbing across there as well, and I'm kind of blending in the dark and the light purple. And there, as you can see, I'm doing another little bit of the purple. Okay, now I'm going to take some white and I'm going to blend the white and the uh, lighter purple together. And I'm just dabbing these on again, you guys. I want some texture to it, so I'm just dabbing it on. Okay, now I have some snowflakes left over from Christmas. They're the foam glitter kind of snowflakes. And I'm going to paint them with that deep purple, or that purple, which is, I think it's deep pansy or something like that. But anyway, it has pansy on the end. Then I'm going to take, after I do that, while they're drying, I took and braided some bracelet twine in a lavender and a light purple, white, and yellow. And I wished I would have I thought I had a dark purple, but I didn't. So, and I wouldn't have done the yellow, I just would have done the three. But I didn't have that, so that's okay. It's all good. It turned out beautiful anyway. So I'm using the yellow and the white and the purple, and now I am adding beads around the braid on the bottom and the top part of the braid. Okay, now I'm making a bow with those three colors with the bracelet twine, and I'm making three. I'm using all three colors, and I'm just making a regular bow, a bunny ear bow, a shoestring bow, whatever you want to call them, just a regular bow. When I get it the size I want, then I will glue it onto my braided um, decoration I put on there. And I'm just using hot glue on these. Now I'm going to go over the edge and the front and back edges of that purple with a lighter purple with the lighter purple. And then I don't know if I show that or not at the end when these get dry, then I will go over just the edges with white. And I think that's what I'm doing here. No, maybe not. But I'm just doing the edges with white on the last part. Yeah, right here. I'm just doing and I do that on all three of them. I made three of them. And then I take a yellow button and I glue it on in the middle of these little, they were snowflakes, now they're flowers. However, because I was using my hot glue gun instead of my warm one, I let it cool a little bit before I put it on those foam things because they will melt. Now I'm painting the stems of them green, and a lot of these weren't long enough, so I painted some sticks green, which you see here, some just skewers. And then either I taped some of them that was in the bottle that you wouldn't see, and then some other ones I put pipe cleaner, and some I just twisted the flowers on. But so right here I'm gluing some leaves onto those little purple flowers we made. I do that with all three of them. And these kind of had some ruffled edges, some raveled edges, so I just cut them off and trimmed them up. Now I'm taking some flower and I glue it to the stem, and then I take some, um, oh, what is it called? Pipe cleaner, green pipe cleaner, and then I twist it around. Now, if you had floral tape, that would work perfect. That would have been perfect, and I wished I would have had some, but that's just for the ones that you might be able to see. But when I get done with them, they're kind of all, um, it's filled a lot so you don't really see. There I am, just twisting that on again. And then I will put these in, and I don't show it all. I fussed with it and fussed with it to get it how I wanted. And the only difference is I ended up putting a lavender hydrangeas, a couple light lavender flowers. I don't know if they're hydrangeas, but a couple lavender flowers in there with them. I also put a little yellow Fimo clay bow, rose on the top of the bow. And this is pretty much all there was to this project. It didn't take very long to do. And again, I want to thank you all for popping in. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Please hit the like button if you liked what you see. And please don't forget to subscribe. And now I'm going to just sit back, shut up, and listen, let you watch or see the final project. And I will see you with the next one.